Hello guys, welcome to Expertizer Academy. So today we're going to see how to create a project from start and set up some basic settings and then see a few little tools here and there. Okay, so just like an intro overview. All right, so first thing is when you get into your Microsoft project, the first screen that you would see is pretty much the screen where you will see a blank project, or you can open an existing project or a whole bunch of other templates that you can use to create your project. And remember, these templates will also have sort of like a dummy data, and then you need to go and clear all those dummy data and then add your own realistic data. And one thing that you need to be aware of when using these templates is Microsoft project is not like an Excel sheet. A lot of people think this is sort of similar to an Excel sheet, but a lot of information in Microsoft are stored in sort of like a layers. So example, we got let's say if you open one of these tasks, one of these project templates, if you see, so one is this is the task that you see, and another one is there is assignment of these resources. Sometimes there might be some resources they would have added some sort of a sample resources, and so those will be linked to some of these tasks. And then there is predecessors and successors, the linking between these tasks. So sometimes the templates that you use, if it has got a lot of linking between data, then you need to be aware of what are those things, and then you need to go and fix all those stuff. So most of the standard templates, if you see, like they may not have any of these linking. As you can see, they may not have any of the resource assignments and stuff. The whole point of that one is you don't have to spend too much time fixing another project or getting rid of the data that you don't need. All right, guys, so let's open a blank project. So quickly running through the user interface. So the first thing is we got the quick access toolbar on the top left corner, and then so we got an option to sign into your account, which will sync your licenses. And for some reason it says product failed, even though I have a valid license. And then this is your file menu, so where you can get to the typical file save as options. And then your task tab bar, this is your sort of like a home page tab under your ribbon interface. And this is called a ribbon interface, which is called tabs. This is called panels, and then tools. So under the task, you got an option to change the view and then create a task, and then set the task percentage. A lot of these basic tools that you use on day-to-day activities will be found under task. And then resources, this is for assigning human resources or any type of other resources to your project. And then we got reports. There is a lot of standard reports that you can use, and if you want, you can also create more custom reports. And then we got project. This is this tab, generally you use it once in a while to set up your project and the basic details, your calendar, and then update your project progress on the whole, and update status and a lot of those things. And then views, it is one of the important things, especially if you're going to be, say, like a project manager who's going to proficiently have to work on a Microsoft project as a tool to deliver your projects. The main thing is it's not about entering information, which is the easiest part. So being a proficient project manager in MS Project, you have to know how to get the specific answers from your project plan. So the way is, let's say for example, you've got hundreds of tasks running in, and then let's say if a couple of your resources are actually going on a sick leave or a planned leave. Now the plan changes. Now either you have to shift some of the task, or you need to actually assign some other alternate resources and things like that. So for these ones, you have some questions that you need to know, the answers that you need to know for some of the questions, such as, okay, these resources, what are they working for the next 2 weeks? And those tasks, what is the priority of those ones? What is the duration to finish those ones? And what are the other resources that is available, which is not assigned to any other task during those period, which you can use it instead of these resources who's going on leave. So for that, you need to know how to control the view and how to use the reports efficiently. Without that, you wouldn't be able to get any information out of project. This is like you're using like a mere like an Excel sheet. So you have to make sure that you actually know how to get specific answers from your project plan. All right, guys, let's get through this. So the very first thing is, once you get here, some of the settings that I've gone through in the previous lessons, you can check that as well. Some of the basics that you need to have is the options. And then some of the basic options that you set here is the default views, Gantt chart, and timeline, which is fine. Your date format, you can choose whichever format it's aligned with your organization. You can choose it. Your name, I always suggest you to put in your full name right up here, and then your initial. So if it's gonna be like a full name, if you got a couple of letters as an initial, you can do that. And theme is up to you. And then display, so the currency that you're going to use, what is your currency, and then the decimal points for your currency, and then the placement, is it the dollar sign going to be before or after, so with a space or without a space and stuff like that. So you can choose it. And currency, as in what is the currency, because dollar sign will be used for AUD as well as USD. So you need to know, you need to specify which is your exact currency that you can specify, and the type of calendar. And then the next most important thing is a schedule tab. So in this one, calendar options for this project or for all projects. So that means every time you create a new project, all of these settings get applied. So your week starts on Monday. So some places, you know, the week starts on Wednesday or Tuesday. If it's like that, you can obviously go and change it. And your fiscal year, so when is the start, and then your start time and your end times. That means every time you assign a task, assign a resources, it will consider these times as a sort of like a template. And then hours per day, so 8 hours, which includes 1 hour break, and then hours per week, and number of days per month. And then show scheduling as percentage, show assignment unit as percentage. So this one is like, say for example, if there is a task which runs for 1 day, which is 8 hours, and you assign someone for let's say half of the time, which is 4 hours, then if you choose as percentage, it will show 50% assignment. And if you choose as decimal, it will be 0.5. So it's just based on which way you want to go. And then new task created. Every time you create a new task, there is two types of task. One is a manual and another one is an auto. So you can choose which one you want to have, either it's a manual task or an auto task. So I leave this one for now, and probably I'll come back and change it later on. And then auto schedule task, scheduled on project start date. So this is basically, you have to specify the start date of a project, so that way every subsequent task that you create will trickle down from the start date. You can also choose current date. That means every time you create a new project file, it will choose the current date as a project start date. And then duration is entered in days, and work is entered in hours, and the default task type is fixed units. I think most of these things will be sufficient for most of the projects that you work on, but if you want to change it, you can change it as well. All right, so once that is done, so now we have set all the basics. So now let's quickly go and create a couple of tasks and then see what is happening here. So the first thing is check your Gantt chart view, which is done. So next one is I'm going to create a task. So let's say this is going to be task 1, and then this is going to be task 2. And then we have created a task, but we don't see anything appear. So if you don't see something, you can go to the task tab, and then there is a button here that says crawl to task. So the keyboard shortcut is Control Shift F5, and you can also reassign these keyboard shortcuts to another keyboard, different keystrokes that if you want. But some of these things I think you have to do it, especially this one is a highly used command of all time. So you have to make sure that you use it with something like a very easy one, let's say Control W or something like that. So it's much easier. And so when you do that, it obviously takes you to the task. We have not assigned any duration up here, so I'm going to say 1 and then press enter. So what happens is, since the default duration we set it as days, it will automatically take that as 1 day, not 1 minute or 1 hour or 1 month. And this one I'm going to say it as 2 days. And then as you can see, you can start seeing the bars appearing right up here. So based on the type of task, you will see the bars will have different sort of colors, shadings, and the looks. So then you can choose a start date. So I can choose this is going to start on 20th. And you see, once we have some more definitive information, it changes colors as well. So now this one is going to start on, let's say, 20th. And then you see there is a gap in between, and the next one starts at 20th. And so I can also say this task will continue after I finish my task 1. So I can say this is a predecessor. I can say 1, and it automatically moves the other task. That means this task will start after the first task finishes. So if I change this to 2 days, and if I press enter, if you see the other task, it has got a squiggly line stating that okay, there is something wrong up here. At the same time, I'm not able to move this task. The task is not moving automatically. That's the reason being is you actually made this task to be a manual task. So in such case, the task has to be moved by the user. The task doesn't move by itself. So we have created the task, and then anytime if you scroll down and if you want to quickly go into your task, you can scroll and select your task, and you can also use the scroll to task button to go into the specific task. All right, guys, this is a quick intro of how to create a project, a blank project, and create a couple of tasks and basic things. We will do a bit more videos right after this. All right, thanks guys, and if you like these videos, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much.